Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. I'm sorry about the light behind me, but I'm already in bed with my brace off, and for me to put it back on and then either get in my wheelchair or my walker, get across the room to turn on another light and turn this one off, it's just too much at this point in time. Anyways, since I fell, the question to myself has been, will I ever get back to homesteading? Now, I'd say 2 weeks ago, yeah, I felt my accident was, well, my surgery was February 1st. I was very worried that the answer would be no, that I could not, for various reasons. But as, time goes by, I believe, yes, I can. And yes, I will. It is a dream of mine. And I had just started doing it, just started building my homestead and stuff. The building part, construction, I had never done before. And I love doing it, it's so much fun. But, now I'm at the point where, yeah, I may have to make some changes. Maybe in the way I do things, especially the sooner I get to it. Because it is a long healing process. And I have no idea what condition my leg will be in a year from now. Obviously much better than it is now, but what will things be like, okay? And then, I have to, this accident made me aware that living in the middle of nowhere as a single 58-year-old woman, I have to come up with something to, provide more safety for myself, more precautions, kind of like a in case of emergency plan, which I did not have before. Things will have to change, but I'm definitely feeling much more optimistic about getting back to homesteading. I feel it's something I have to do because it's, at this point in my life, it's something I really strongly desire to do. And I have to admit, I was angry when I first had my accident. Like, how could this happen now? I was just getting into it. I was just getting it built up. I was having a good time. Why did this happen and why now? I don't know. But, it happened. It is what it is. And, I've accepted it. We have to go through that process of, when something changes your life, when my son died, I definitely had to go through that. That took longer, much longer. That anger part and the acceptance, stuff like that. But this does not mean that I have to give up my dream of homesteading. And my son and I were talking about this today, and about changes and a different way I might do it to accommodate, well, one, my safety and get in a case of emergency plan going, and to accommodate like any lesser strength, or maybe, I hesitate to say pain in the future, because like a year from now, I might be still having pain, but the pain, compared to the pain it was when I first fell, it's like I could barely call it pain, like next year, even if I have pain, making sense. This pain was worse than natural childbirth, so I experienced both of those things, and I will say the fall, it was worse. It was more painful. So that pain that I might have, an ache, let's say, I'm going to call it maybe aches. Okay, how to accommodate that? So the answer to the question, will I ever homestead again, is yes. I just have to change my plans up a little bit and how I do it. Maybe the amount I was planning on doing, because I had, huge dreams and plans, and I have seeds galore. I mean, a lot of seeds I was planning on planting. I may have to start out smaller than I was planning and then grow bigger from there. Just have to make adjustments, but that doesn't mean I have to give up my dream. It's like, well, when my son died, as a parent, as a mother, man, you feel like your life is over. And I do have another son, we all know that. But still, they're two different people. Love them both with all my heart. But I felt like my life was over. And, I felt things would never be the same again, and they never have been the same again. But despite me, my son died. I had a stroke a few years ago, which led into a bunch of chronic illnesses. And I was, chronically ill for 8 years. Despite all that, I came up with a plan, to change my life. And I started living again. And that cured my chronic illnesses too. Well, I was living in nature. You guys know how I feel about that. Nature is the best medicine. And it changed my life for the better. So if I can do that with the death of my own son, after the death of my own son, if I could do that, well, I could definitely pull it off after this accident. So the answer is yes. I am going to homestead again. The question is when and how, and that is all. But knowing me, it's going to get done. Because if I put my mind to something, it happens. So there's that question answered. So I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.